Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and in this tutorial we will learn together inheritance data structure. Specifically, we will speak about DotDict data structure. In Python data structure, specifically dictionary data structure, we learn two or more methods to create a dictionary objects. For example, we learn together if I have a bibliography, I can create, for example, this dictionary that holds the key name and the corresponding value of the key, for example, Ali, and we also have the age and the corresponding value is 35, and we learn together that I can access the value of each key using this form, okay? And we have now Ali, for example, or I can use bio.get method and I can submit the key, and here in this case I want to extract the name. Okay, so by this two methods we can retrieve the value of the key using get or using the slicing operator or square brackets. Okay, but we cannot access the key using dot. For example, I cannot use bio.name to print the name. And at the same time, if I create the object in a different way, for example, I have here dict and I have the name equal Ali and the age, for example, equal 35, I still cannot access the key using a dot, okay? But I can only access this using the traditional way, okay, in which we have to pass the key itself, okay. In Python, there is an alternative way to access the value, okay, of the key, but by using the dot, okay. There are also two methods or two approaches to do that. The first one by importing from types, okay. Types is a Python module that allow us to check or add types or different data structure types to different objects. For example, I will import, okay, from this simple namespace, and this simple namespace allows me to create a a dictionary, and for example, my bio here will be a simple namespace, and inside this I will add the name, and the name will be Ali, and I will have now the age also. The age is 35. Now I can print bio.name, so I can print the key based on dot notation, okay, and that is not allowed in the traditional way to create a dictionary. So this is the first method to access a dictionary using a dictionary value using dot, okay, and here we use dot key. And take care that the traditional way will not work here. So if I will say bio and I will have now to pass the name, and when we run we will have type error. But that is not what the aim of what I want to introduce to you in this tutorial. So this implementation is an implementation can be inserted from types, okay, module in Python. Now I want to let you learn how can we design our own DotDict subclass or child class that inherits from the original dictionary class and allow us with more functionality to either move from dot key or using the normal way to retrieve the value. So we need to design our own class now, okay. So the class, we will name it DotDict, okay, and you can give it any name you want, but let us preserve the similar terminology. And this DotDict is a class that will inherit from the usual or from the normal dict data structure, which is a class built in Python. We now we can create inheritance, okay, from this class, okay, and what we will insert inside this child or subclass. Remember that in this case we will use some special methods. If you don't know more about special methods, go to previous tutorials. I have a separate tutorial about special method. I introduce setter and getter and deleter, or are included in previous tutorial. And in this dict, I will have no constructor. I just want to create an instance without any attributes. I will define the first thing, the setter, okay, in which we will set the key and value of the dictionary, okay. So if you remember, for example, if I will have the dictionary, for example, value here, I will have here the name, and I will have here, for example, Ali here, and the setter allow me to set the key, which is name here, and the value, the corresponding value, which is Ali. Okay, now let us proceed with our code. Okay, and we will use a try. After the object-oriented programming, you will learn more about a try except, which is under the umbrella of exception handling in Python. But we use a try and except to wrap the code, okay, because if the code will face an error, then we will show a message, okay, or a specific message to that error. And now what I will do in the setter will store only, let us remove try except now, because in the getter I want to add the try except, but in the setter itself I want to store, okay, the self.key, okay, which will be equal to the value. Okay, now let us to check this. Now we have setter, a simple special method in which we have key and value, and we want to store the key, okay, and the corresponding key and the value. Okay, so this setter will insert to me, or will set to me the key and the corresponding value. Then I set this. So when I create an instance, okay, and start inserting the key and value, the setter will take its place. But when I want to print, okay, then the getter will work. So I want to define getter here, and getter will take the item to me, and here is the item is the pair of key and value. And sometimes sometimes we print incorrect key, because if that incorrect key we want to wrap the code within a try except, because if the key is not the right key, then we want to show error message or raise attribute error. So what this will do, this will perform a return for the self of item. So we want to return the item here, which is the pair of key or the value of the key. Let us use, instead of using the item, I want to use the keys, because I want to return here the key, and the key will bring to me the value. So I want to use key nested, and I want to use key here. Okay, so I want to get the key, and this key will return to me the value. Okay, so I want to complete this exception handling. So I have a try. Okay, then we will get the value of the key, okay, which is this one. And if we will face any error, if, for example, if I will face key error, so if, for example, instead of submitting name, I have incorrect spelling of the name, then that is called key error. Then I want to raise, okay, an attribute error. You will learn more about this error, not arithmetic, it's attribute error. And in the next tutorials, when we complete the object-oriented programming and data-oriented programming or classes, then we will have separate tutorials for exception handling. Now, again, here is the logic. We get the key. If the key is incorrect, we want to show this message. For example, let us to say DotDict, okay, or DotDict as it, okay, object has no attribute, then we have no, let us to say, instead of attribute, let us to say no key, and the key for me is key, okay. So if I will submit different key, then this message will show to me. Good. So I have setter, because in the setter I want to set the key and the value. Then I want to print the value of the corresponding key. I use getter. What if I want to delete anything? Then I have to define a deleter. Delete attribute, or delete at. So we want to define delete attribute, which is del attribute, like this. Okay, so for that, and instead of item, I want to add the key, and in this case, I want also to wrap the code inside the try, and after that, I want to delete what I want. I want to delete self of key, okay. So the key itself will be removed and the corresponding value will be removed, and except here the key error, and the same thing I want to, if I want to delete non-exist key, then I will show this message here. Good. And how can we handle this? Now let us just to quickly review this. We have a DotDict class. We named it as it. You can name it as what you want. This is this inherited from the original dict class, which is the normal data structure dictionary in Python. I want to set key and value. I use setter. I want to print the value of the corresponding key. Then I use getter. I want to delete value pair of key and value. I use the deleter. And now I want to create an instance. For example, I want to say bio is an instance of DotDict. Because I have no constructor here, I don't have underscore in it, I will not submit any attribute inside this one. Okay, let us see the rule of setter. Rule of setter allow me to set how I say bio dot name, okay, equal, for example, Muhammad. Okay, now this is the key name and this is the value Muhammad. Okay, this is the self dot key and Muhammad is the self dot value. So now I am setting. Okay, then I have value dot age. Age is the key and 35 is the age. So the setter now say self dot key equal value, in which we have name equal Muhammad, but I have to also use bio dot. Okay, now I set everything. Okay, what is the role of getter? Getter, okay, allow me to print. So then I print, or I show the name after I set the name. After I set the bio dot name, I can print or I can access the bio dot name. So what inside the bio dot name? Let us print. We have Muhammad. Okay, so the first thing we add bio dot name, then we give the value. So this is the self dot key and this is the value in the setter. In the getter, we just return self dot key, and here dot key or self of key, which in this case dot name. So by this way, we designed a dictionary that allow me to access a dictionary object to the value in a dictionary object using dot name, or using dot notation. This is also work. For example, if I want to print bio of name, I can submit dot in the normal procedure. Then I can also take the name. If I want to use, for example, dot get, and I submit the name inside this get, it will work. But the task for today is to show you how can build a dictionary and directly using .NET. This is very useful in the context of machine learning and data science, because you build your data set, and this data set is nothing but a dictionary. Inside the dictionary there will be a feature, a feature set, or for example label set, or there will be, for example, metadata or variables, and you can store them in a dictionary, and you can call, for example, my data dot feature. You print the feature and show the feature, or my data dot label. Okay, so let us just also proceed, and now we set the name, and I can print this bio as a dictionary. Okay, and I can see here I have name and I have value. Let us also check the role of the deleter. When I say del, which is delete bio, okay, which is the dictionary object dot age, I do not need to use the age. I use deleter, and this deleter because I use this delete function because I included deleter here. And now I print also the value again. I will notice here the age has been deleted. Now, in this tutorial, we learn together how can we do inheritance from already created Python data structure or default Python data structure like a dictionary, and we inherited this dictionary as a built-in class inside our own class, and we used the special methods setter, getter, deleter to build our dictionary data structure, in which we can access the value of corresponding key using dot notation. Okay, and that's for today's tutorial, and see you next tutorial where we will introduce in the concept of encapsulation and abstraction and object-oriented programming in Python.